Two of China's top military generals are now under investigation for serious disciplinary violations. Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli both sit on the Central Military Commission, with Zhang only ranking below President Xi Jinping in its hierarchy. Here to tell us what it means is the Post's China news editor, Jun Mai. Thank you so much for joining us. Could you first tell us what is the significance of the removal of those two generals?
So Zhang Youxia, is, like you pointed out, is the most senior military official in the entire PLA system, meaning that if there's simply no one to go even higher than Zhang Youxia if you want to clean up corruption in the PLA. He's also a member of the 24-man Politburo, which is the decision-making body of the Communist Party. The body has now shrunk to 22 members officially after the anti-corruption drive hit 2 members. Liu Zhenli is also a very key member in the PLA's commanding system. He's the chief of the PLA's Joint Staff Department, which is in charge of command and control and planning of operations, and also. General Zhang Youxia and General Liu Zhenli are the only 2 members in the Central Military Commission that has real combat experience, because we know that it's been decades since China fought any hot wars. So they were the only one among the senior commanders who had real experience dating back to the border conflict with Vietnam in 1970s. So basically, the 2 generals are very important in the structure of the CMC.
The Central Military Commission is the Chinese military's highest command, but with Zhang and Liu both under investigation, that only leaves President Xi Jinping, who chairs it, and second-ranked Vice Chairman Zhang Shengmin. So what does this mean for this powerful body?
First of all, I think the commanding power ultimately lies in Mr. Xi Jinping himself because of the CMC chairperson responsibility system, which means the body of generals in the CMC sort of play their supportive role to Xi as he makes those key decisions in terms of military development and combat. So if we look at the original structure of the CMC, there are 2 vice chairman below Xi Jinping. So Zhang Youxia is one of them. Zhang will be in charge of the real combat, and the second-ranking vice chairperson of the CMC, He Weidong, which was also disgraced and taken down in the previous rounds of anti-corruption drive, he was sort of in charge of the political work of the PLA. And if we look at the other members of the PLA's Central Military Commission, you have Liu Zhenli, the chief of Joint Staff Department. You have Miao Hua, the former political department chief, and the anti-corruption chief, Zhang Shengmin, who is now actually promoted as a vice chairperson after the sacking of He Weidong. And there is also this Minister of Defense, who was Li Shangfu, who is also disgraced. If you look at the operational level, China has always have a lot of deputies in each department, so there should not be a lot of issues for those deputies to be ready to take the jobs of their fallen department chiefs. However, this will inevitably bring some disruptions into this kind of command structure and communication and chain of command. That's how I understand it. But if you're talking about decision making, it will be ultimately up to the chairman, who is Xi Jinping himself, and the CMC, as far as we know, is not some kind of body that will vote on key issues.
So the investigations of Zhang and Liu come ahead of the PLA's centenary, which is next year. So what does this situation say about President Xi's priorities?
First of all, I think the definition of the centenary goal of the PLA is very vague. We kept hearing from Beijing, that this is very important. This is due August 1st, 2027, the centenary of the PLA Foundation. But there's very little that we know what exactly the goal is. One of the clues can be found in the 20th Party Congress delivered by Xi in 2022, which he said by 2027, or by the time we reach the centenary of the PLA needs to be capable of winning local wars. So that was as far as we know. But it does seem to us that his utmost priority will be cleaning up the military, and just spelled out in a lot of commentaries by state media and by military outlets in Beijing, that Xi Jinping and Beijing's military leadership does believe that corruption posed a very serious threat to the PLA's war readiness. So they think cleaning up corruption would definitely help war readiness in the long term. And there are several signs that we can look at in the past year, because the previous rounds of military anti-corruption drive already started roughly in the second half of the year 2023, and we actually by the beginning of 2026 we see the downfall of acting or former commanders of all 5 of China's theater commands, former or acting commanders of all of China's ground force, air force, navy, and the rocket force. But we do not see a significant slowdown yet in the pace of the PLA's modernization drive, the pace at which they commission new weapons. We do remember last year they commissioned Fujian, China's 3rd aircraft carrier, and a lot of amphibious assault vessels, which were key to a operation in the Taiwan Strait. And if we look at the PLA's military pressure in Taiwan, that did not slow down at all last year, despite the fact that the Eastern Command Theater, whose commander was also sacked last year. If we look at the total sorties, the PLA's aircraft show up near Taiwan, it actually went up, not down, in the year of 2025. And in the year of 2025, the PLA conducted 2 rounds of massive military exercise near Taiwan, which was at the same level of the year 2023 and 2024. So far, we do not have the evidence that this corruption drive has significantly slowed down the pace of China's military modernization and its military pressure in the Taiwan Strait. But we can basically say that in the mind of Xi Jinping and other leaders, to clean up the military is now of a higher priority.
Thank you once again for joining us here.